allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
This meeting is being televised by Chelmsford TeleMedia. Is there anyone else present that plans to record? Great. Okay, well, welcome. Just to let people in the audience know and those watching from home, we will be starting the meeting with a few presentations, and then we'll take a break for a few minutes to adjourn to executive session to discuss collective bargaining and litigation issues, and then we'll be reconvening in regular session to continue with the rest of our agenda. So there's no consent agenda tonight, so first up are our Chelmsford High School representatives.
Over the weekend, CHS hosted the Massachusetts Theater Guild, Educational Theater Guild, preliminary competition for our competition plays, and CHS moved on to the semifinals. So good luck to them for our show, The Lucky Charm. This week will be MCAS ELA retests, and there will be an early release day on Thursday for professional development, as well as... So also starting on Thursday, we'll have MCAS math retesting. It'll also go into Friday. So today was our first day of junior election speeches. So vice president and treasurer went today. And then on Thursday, we'll have president and secretary. On Friday, we have the Brighter Colors for Brighter Futures Jimmy Fund Benefit dance. And on Saturday, we will be having the grades 4 through 12 String Fest in the PAC. It was previously rescheduled due to snow from January. On Tuesday the 12th at 6:30 in the PAC, we'll have the Winter Sports Awards, and Friday the 15th, we'll have Mr. CHS at 7 o'clock in the PAC.
Great. All right, thank you very much. Okay, any good news?
Yeah, so a couple of things for good news. So both Jassy Dukes from McCarthy Middle School and Ryan McElligott from Parker have qualified for the Massachusetts State Geography Bee. So both won the bee at their respective schools, and they met the qualifying test that was in this January. And we just heard yesterday that they both earned their spot in the state bee, making them one of 100 qualifiers for the next round. So congratulations to them, and we hope they make it past the 100 qualifiers. Also, this Thursday at the Chelmsford Public Library, we're going to be hosting the annual K-12 Youth Art Month exhibit from 5 to 7. So a lot of our students have completed this artwork. It's hanging there. They've won a lot of awards. So if you have a chance to go by, that would be great. And, good news, Dr. Lang made it through another birthday and yesterday, and Mr. King here is celebrating his birthday with us tonight. So thank you, Mr. King, for being with us. And that's it.
Any other good news? All right, so we are now at the public input part of our meeting. If you'd like to speak to the committee about any of the items on tonight's agenda, please come forward, state your name and address for the recording secretary. Great. All right, moving on then.
Moving on. All right, our first item of the evening, I'd like to welcome Principal Rob Aslan from the Harrington Elementary School. I know there's some staff and students in the room as well, so we'd like to invite the Harrington School to come up and present on some of the happenings that are occurring this year at the Harrington School. Very happy to continue each of our school committee meetings. We highlight one of the schools or departments in the district, and tonight is going to be Harrington, so we're really looking forward to this. The only thing I would ask, when you are talking, just try to talk into the microphone so that the people at home can hear us, okay? All right.
Thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be here. It's exciting to be able to bring Harrington's exciting news to school committee in Chelmsford. Up at the table with me, I have Finn, I have Kashvi, and I have Mrs. Daniele.
Evening.
Fourth grade teacher here. So we're going to talk a little bit about Scientist of the Week, which is a program that Ms. Daniele's been doing for the past 4 years. Prior to this year, she was doing it during a 15-minute block or so during the day when they had 15 minutes. We had met earlier this year and talked about trying to implement some additional time into the program because it's a pretty exciting program and it's a great way to expose the kids to science, the science curriculum. So we came up with introducing it and having it allowed during recess. And the reason for that is it kind of gives the students an exposure to, the responsibility and accountability of being part of a club, an extracurricular type club. So it teaches them, what it means to volunteer for something and be responsible for being a part of it. And it's taken away from their recess when they do it. And it's really an exciting club an opportunity for them, and it's growing pretty well even throughout this year. So I'm going to let Miss Daniele speak a lot to it, since she is the one who put this together for us, and then we'll let our mad scientists do the rest of the show.
And be sure to give me a
Very
nod
excited.
to advance the slides.
Yes.
Yes, I'll give you
Ready?
a little. I'm ready.
All right.
So, there we go. One more time. I have a couple little transitions in there.
I'll follow.
All right, great. So 6 years ago, I was working at Byam with Tammy Abbott, who is a really advocate of science, and she was doing a Scientist of the Week club. And so I watched her for that year and decided that, that's something that I wanted to do and I wanted to provide my students. So that got me started with it. And again. So each scientist gets approximately 15 to 20 minutes to present their experiment, but there's a lot of things that go into the preparation of that. So this is high level. Again, Mr. Aslan spoke to the fact that we met and decided that we wanted to make it more of a club, voluntary club, held during recess time. So the students are making quite a long commitment based on the number of students that are in the class. So that's 20 weeks, one recess a week, that my students are giving of their time to participate in this club. Initially, I had 17 students with 3 holdouts who were just going to observe for a little bit. Well, within the first week, one was like, can I come on board? And like, great. And then the following week was another one, can I come on board? So we have 19 out of my 20 students that are participating in the club. We have an ambassador from one of the other classes whose teacher is interested in doing this but wants to get student feedback on that. So we're excited about that. And we have another teacher that's already on board in the past month who's joining us to do Scientists of the Week Club with her class. So the purpose of the club is to allow students to explore and discover any questions that they have about science and go and investigate it for themselves. And to give the students a platform where they can share their interests and their knowledge of science and with their peers. And also to give them the opportunity to really expose a little bit about what middle school is going to be offering them and what they can look forward to. So right here, a couple of little clip arts here. Can I make my own version of the light bulb without actually using a light bulb? So we had one of our scientists, Andre, actually do that for us this year. And Finn has asked the question, is there any way to blow up a balloon other than using helium or my own breath? And you will all see that a little later on. But it all ties in nicely to the curriculum, our new science curriculum with the next generation standards. Their goal states that hands-on activities are motivating for students and they stimulate inquiry and curiosity. And that's what we really want our students to ask questions and to be lifelong learners and to really energize them for that. So I think that this club is helping to do that along with our curriculum that we have. The FOSS curriculum engages students in the following: investigation, experimentation, gathering data, organizing the results, and then drawing conclusions, and then reflecting on that and presenting that to their peers and to their teachers. The Scientists of the Week Club is doing the same thing. We're allowing students to ask a question, go out and research it, and try and figure out what this is all about, experiment with it, and bring it back into the classroom and share it with their peers, the knowledge that they've gained. Next slide. So the NGSS standards for 4th grade, we're focusing on soils, rocks, and landforms. Energy, we started out with energy unit last year. We've added in the soils, rocks, and landforms this year, and next year we'll plan is to add environments. So how is that comparable to the Scientists of the Week Club? Well, we've made oobleck, which is a non-Newtonian fluid. Is it solid or is it liquid? And our kids found out about that as our sort of first experiment, and we'll probably do that again before the end of the year. And we've discovered how to make tiny little copper dancers dance on top of a battery and some magnets with our scientists. So those are just a couple of things that we've explored so far. It does tie in really nicely with our curriculum. It ties in, okay. I'm trying to think. I thought I had, yeah, okay, we just did science. I'm sorry. I'm rattling so fast till I can get to the good stuff with the students here. But it also ties in with our speaking and listening skills. If you look at the standards for Common Core, it's the language standard number 4, and presentation and knowledge and ideas. And the Scientists of the Week Club actually allows the students to practice their public speaking and their listening skills on subjects that they're enthusiastic about, something that they've picked and something that they want to share. Specifically, the presenters have clear expectations. They have to explain their experiment. They have to explain the science behind the experiment, why it works. They have to talk to their classmates, make eye contact with their classmates. They have to answer the classmates' questions that they may have about their experiment. Did it fail at home? Is it successful today? Do we have some bleeps and things that we have to fix? And they have to, again, share all that. But that's just part of it. All the participants, everyone else, they have expectations too. We're really trying to have them demonstrate Harrington's 3 R's: responsibility, respect, and being ready. So they're doing that. They're learning to be good listeners. Even if the topic goes on a little bit longer than they want, they need to listen. They need to ask questions, and we really want them to ask questions and provide feedback in a positive and kind manner. So we're having them do all of that. Oh, you're doing great. Thank you. So the whole process is that when I introduced this, I talked to the kids about it at the beginning of the year. At open house, I talked to the parents that I was interested in doing this and wasn't quite sure how it was all going to work this year. As in past years, I was going to be meeting with Mr. Aslan. And so again, we decided to do it during recess. So the students had to volunteer if they wanted to participate. They needed to get parent permission because we're taking their recess time and they're making a very long commitment to be in the club. They couldn't just do their experiment and then decide to leave, or I'm waiting too long and I want to leave. No, once they've committed, they're in the club. So they had to make that commitment. We randomly select Scientists of the Week. So we just draw out their names and that's the next person up, and there's no fuss, and I don't want to do it. They're all excited to do that. They get a tote bag, which I left in my car. And, but you can see Andre there holding it. He was our first scientist. And in the tote bag, there are science experiment books. There's a binder that has the whole science process for them to follow. There are some online websites and some online experiments that they can look up. So they have a wide resource of information that they can gather to pick experiments from. They're also, and if Finn and Kashvi can hold up, they're also required to fill out a Journey of a Scientist packet where they have to explain 3 choices of experiments that they looked at, that they were interested in, and then the one that they finally chose, and then they need to do their research on all of that and practice it at home. And then bring it in, and we send a note home to the parents, because at home, the parents are the assistant scientists as they prepare their presentation and then as they practice their experiment. Whoops, can you?
Oh, sorry. I
That's
got
okay.
excited.
They get their picture taken. I put it up on my Class Dojo site. They get a certificate saying that they've accomplished being Scientists of the Week. And again, the packet has a lot of different things, sort of which I just mentioned, and even includes the opportunity, if we have time, to do a little reflecting on how they think their presentation went and how their experiment went for the class. All right. So I wanted to share with you the scientists that we've already had come up to our class and present. So Andre makes light from wires and batteries. Kiara made the tiny dancer with a copper wire on top of magnets and batteries, which really ties into our energy unit, which we haven't done yet, but this got them all excited about, ooh, energy's coming up and we're going to be working with circuits and batteries and light and other things. And then we've had a whole slew of Jonathan made a lava lamp. Sean did an underwater volcano with different water temperatures. Thomas made magic, and I corrected on the one at home, sorry, magic milk, where he almost did like a tie-dyeing painting, but putting food coloring in milk, which just sort of sits there, but once you add soap detergent, it sort of like spreads out and makes a cool design. Kashvi is all about slime, and you'll find out about that tonight. A few more. And Finn did his fizz inflator. Will did invisible ink. Raj did, we learned about chemistry and how red cabbage can let us know whether something's acidic or not. And then just last Friday, sorry I didn't send you a new link, Dr. Lang, a new link. Amanali did shining up pennies with vinegar. So if you want nice shiny pennies, we can tell you how to do it. So that's the presentation, folks, but there's nothing more exciting than actually getting your hands in on it and experimenting. So I'm turning it over to our scientists, Kashvi and Finn, and they're going to do some science with you all.
So Finn's gonna go first.
All right.
So I'm gonna bring Finn up, I'm gonna get his supplies, and we're gonna have him take the show.
All right. You can sit right in front of the tablecloth.
Should I stand or sit?
You can, whatever makes you comfortable. There's the mic, and we're here to help, and you know what to do, my friend. And bring over his. Finn did a little prepping ahead of time, so we wouldn't have to take as long doing some of this. So Finn, if you want to tell them what your science project is and how it works, and call up any assistance that you feel you need, my friend.
Okay, so I'm doing a thing called Build a Fizz Inflator, which is making a balloon inflate with using vinegar that is in this bottle and baking soda, which is in this balloon, and putting the balloon on top of the bottle without making the baking soda go in, and then letting the baking soda go in, and it makes the balloon inflate.
Finn, can you tell the group how, when you did it in class, how you got the baking soda into the balloons?
I used a funnel that I made out of a piece of paper, and I poured the baking soda in with the balloon on the end.
So he did it all from his own materials. He didn't have a funnel at home, and he actually created a funnel out of paper by twirling it. Do you want to have a couple of assistants come up and try?
Can I have a volunteer?
I think it's a birthday.
It's a birthday.
Yeah, it's your birthday. It's a balloon.
What about
Me.
Dr.
It's a balloon.
Lang and Mr. King, since they're the birthday?
Yes,
There we go.
because they're
I love it.
balloons. Okay, this is even better.
Tell them they have nothing to fear.
No.
So much.
Got goggles?
Yes.
This is even better.
Josh, why don't you come over a little bit this way? We'll give Finn some room.
A little tight.
All right, guys, look this way. Look this way. Smile. Smile. There we go.
Which side do you want to go on?
I'll go on this side.
All right.
Oh, no, Dr. Lang, over
Oh,
near
over
the.
No, you can't be. Yeah, that'll be messy over there.
I like green, so I'm gonna use green.
All right, go ahead. Oh, I got to do it here too? All right, so what am I doing?
So unscrew this. You can use whatever color. So without making the baking soda, and I'll do like demonstration kind of.
Okay.
You just put the
Oh, the
balloon
balloon
on
over.
top.
You can help hold the bottles if they need it.
Okay.
Once you have it on, you can like hold it if you want.
Yep.
And then whenever you feel comfortable, you can add the baking soda in, and it should just, the balloon will just start inflating.
I'm winning.
Wow. Here it goes.
I get a little messy.
You got
I don't have a suit jacket on.
You didn't tell us that before the experiment. Very cool.
Can I ask a science question?
Yep.
What gas is in there?
Carbonated gas. It makes the chemical reaction makes carbonated gas.
Oh, very good. Nice. You know what I do for a living? I'm a chemistry teacher. Get it right.
Good job, Finn.
All right.
Great job.
Nice job. You let him go? All right.
Good, you let it go? Take it out.
Whatever
Just let it go like that?
Yeah.
All right.
Get off.
Good.
Feel free to tie the knot and take your balloon with you.
Well, that's okay. We'll leave it.
Thank you, Finn.
You're welcome.
Thank
That was
you
great.
very much.
Well, then there's no guarantee, Dr. Ling, that they won't pop off and explode for the rest of your
Oh, it
presentation.
happens.
Welcome.
Is it going to explode?
No. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
All right, Finn, you can leave that
I'd like to introduce Kashfi for her next experiment.
You can certainly call up another assistant if you'd like to.
I'm making slime. So the glue in the slime, it has PVA in it, which stands for polyvinyl alcohol. And the activator, which is the contact solution, has boric acid in it. And when the boric acid interacts with the PVA particles, they start to stick together and clump up, and then they form like a ball, which turns out to be slime. And then the contact solution doesn't have a lot of boric acid, so you add a pinch of baking soda, because when baking soda in contact solute and boric acid mix together, they make a chemical called borate, and then you can use that to make the slime too.
Do you want to make two? You want to ask for an assistant?
I'll go.
I was going to offer up Al. Yeah.
You saw how fun it was, so now you
Right.
thought you'd be involved?
So just pour it in?
Mhm.
All right. What's the shaving cream for?
It just makes it fluffy.
Okay, all right. Is that enough?
You can add as much as you want.
All right, we'll go with. Can I throw the slime ball at somebody later? Would I
it'll
get in trouble?
Stick to their hair.
Maybe one with shaving cream and one without, so you can show the difference.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. I'll do the one with shaving cream. So now you add a pinch of baking soda.
Okay. Just a pinch?
Yeah,
All
you
right.
can use this.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Sometimes you need a little bit more.
All right, I think I went heavy. Then just mix it up?
Mm-hmm. Then you can add food coloring if you want.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Do you have green? Yeah, green. I think that's the appropriate color. They let you do this in school? This is super fun. Okay.
So Kashfi, can you tell them what they can anticipate looking between the one with the shaving cream and the one without the shaving cream when we get to that?
So the one with the shaving cream, it'll be fluffier. It'll have like a different texture, and it'll kind of feel lighter. But then the regular one, the texture will be a little bit different.
So good. Okay. All right, is that enough mixed?
Mhm.
All right.
And then you add the contact solution.
All right.
So you just have to add contact solution. You just add little by little
Okay.
until it forms.
Mm. I don't know, is that too much? Did I break it?
No.
Can you break it?
No.
Did you know the bottles?
Oh, yeah, look at that. All right, I think I need more.
You can add a lot if you want. And the
Do you have
one
any
with
science questions, Dennis?
Just watching you.
the one with the
Oh, look at
shaving
it go.
foam will get a little bit bigger.
It like gets all goopy. That's not a science term.
It's a kid's term.
I'm an engineer. I don't know anything about science. Think that's good, or needs more?
If you touch it and it sticks to you, then you need more.
All right. Look at that. Oh. I'm running out of fingers.
If it's taking too long, you can just add a lot.
Just go for it?
Mhm.
All right, I'm going for it. Oh no, it's coming together now.
Don't add too much though, otherwise it'll just become hard.
You're giving me mixed messages. I think it's good. I think it's, yeah, it's not sticking anymore.
There you go.
There you go.
out.
Did you
go,
John?
Like silly putty?
Yeah.
Show the audience.
I'm not showing my daughter this. Hold on. That's crazy. Look at that.
You turn around and show the audience.
It's really neat.
Isn't that amazing? All the glue that was there. is
That's
no
amazing.
longer.
Do you have a napkin?
To
Right
the right
next
of
to
you.
you.
Usher's coming up, Ashley.
Good. Just a little sticky.
So you gave up a recess to do this. Was it worth it?
Yes.
Awesome.
I told my friends in another class, and they were like, "What? You got to make slime in school?" And I told them it was for science, and they're like, "Oh."
I'm gonna pass this around to everybody else.
John's very proud of that.
Yeah, I made that. I had a good teacher, that's why.
That's really good.
That's neat, actually.
All right. So, Kashi, do you just want to
You
stretch
wanna
yours
borrow
out
the
and show them
napkin?
how
Here
it's
you go.
fluffy and
Everybody
not
gets some.
packed? You're gonna turn around to the audience too.
Oh, look at that.
Ready?
It's a good thing John didn't get that one.
I know.
Now, where'd you get the idea for this?
I had seen a video where it just explained like a little bit of the science.
Yep.
So then I wanted to know a little bit more about it. So then I thought if I would do it for my scientist of the week.
Great.
I was going to do oobleck, but then Miss Danielle did it before me.
Oh, wow. All right. So yes, we're very thrilled that you had us here this evening. So Finn and Kashvi have a couple of scientist assistant certificates for all of you. So might take them a second to get that around. And because we want to make sure that the rest of your meeting is exciting, and if you need any manipulatives, you're each getting your own slime that the kids made up earlier today.
Nice.
So
Thank you.
That's cool.
it's a light purple color.
You got a certificate? I don't think I did too well with mine.
Very happy to leave it here with you.
Put that in your refrigerator.
I'm sure you are.
Here's the shaving cream version. It's different.
That one's sticky?
No, it's just, it's like fluffy.
I think hers came out a little better.
Kinds of presents.
Oh, more
For
things
the-
are coming. This is great.
It's a certificate.
Yep, so my certificate.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll always go out to finish up.
Oh yeah, I'll take it. Yours came out much better than mine.
Thank you, nice job.
It's had a few weeks now, it's like,
Want to get a picture with kids in the
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Looks like frosting.
I bet kids try to eat it.
Oh, good.
When you're done, after you
Looks
close
good.
up, I just want to make sure I get a picture of the two kids with
thank
you.
you.
and,
Super nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Those are great demonstrations.
Thank you very much for having us. It was a pleasure to be here. Finn and Kashmi did a fantastic job. I think it's spreading like wildfire at Harrington. Miss Daniele's really doing well with it. The other grades are starting to pick up on it. So it's really a great opportunity for them. So we hope it can kind of grow into something even bigger as we move forward. And thank you again for having us, and appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No. I could ask one thing. We're going to have Linda just take the picture of you four, if you don't mind, and we'll post that up on our website to show the work that you did tonight.
On the next agenda item, so, try and cover for me, okay? Thank you.
You guys did a great job.
Nice job. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good job. So they're gonna take a while to clean up, so.
Just making sure none of you kept the golf goggles. I know that was a big hit with the two of you.
Check Dr. Lang, I think he liked those.
I have the mark still on my nose.
Sorry, we memorialized it.
Right.
Oh, Finn. Listen, you can have the picture. We can leave it with you.
Yeah, sure, because I just know if they're gonna work back and forth, it won't take them that long. So you wanna have him move on to the next agenda item? Oh, well, he usually says moving on to the
Oh,
next.
sure. Well, if you want, so I very much like to thank Carrington for coming up and appreciate them making that presentation this evening. Our second presentation this evening is the UMass Lowell Teaching Excellence and Achievement, the T. Fulbright Scholar. So I'm going to ask Dr. Hirsch to give us a little bit of an introduction on that presentation and welcome this evening.
So, yeah, I've been talking about this for months. So we have had for the past 6 weeks our international Fulbright scholars here, and they've been working at Chelmsford High School with 5 of our teachers, but we actually have 24 in the audience because they've been in Lowell, Andover, Westford, and Chelmsford. So they all came here this evening to look at tonight's event, which was obviously spectacular. We had some scientists, so, you know, it was a good night to come. And they would like to talk a little bit maybe about their experience, if you had some questions for them. And they've been here, these are the best of the brightest of their countries, and there's a lot of different representation here this evening, and I believe they actually put some spokespeople together to come up and talk. So I'm assuming you're gonna be the first one up? You got voted?
Yes, it was a difficult procedure because 24 people from 21 countries, and we had to vote, not to push each other here. I'm a teacher from Ukraine, and I've been teaching for quite a long, for more than 20 years, and I've also had an experience of being deputy head. So, and in my school, we have a habit of receiving guests, and we do it quite a lot. So I just know it from inside, how much time, patience, organization, and planning it takes to host the people. But judging from our experience, probably we have visited the best schools in the area because we were fortunate to see so many things, to learn so many things. So we are very thankful for you to just because you opened the doors of your schools, of the classrooms, because we've learned so many things which we basically don't do in our countries. So we also appreciate a chance to talk to students, to tell a bit about our countries. It was good to hear the questions. It was good that people know what Ukraine is, and it's on the news, maybe not always positive. It was good to see the genuine interest. And we also appreciate the choice of our partner teachers because it's usually the personal contribution that makes the event so positive. So we've visited so many classes beyond the subjects we teach. So our wish was granted. So we were always asked, what would you like to see? What would you like to learn? So we were taken places in school and as extracurricular places, extracurricular activities. So we really appreciate it. So our stay here was really meaningful, enjoyable, and pleasant. So thank you.
And a lot of this came from, our partnership with UMass Lowell. We have Dr. Sechel in the back who was nominated to be here this evening with everyone. And this is a very significant grant through the U.S. Department of Education. And only, I think I said this the last time, it was only 17 people that applied for it, and UMass Lowell is one that received it. So it's a pretty significant project. And we had Dr. Tanini here and Mr. Atchison. They were on the receiving end of teachers then going and doing these types of visits and learning from those school districts. So it's fantastic to have everyone here. So it's nice to get these perspectives.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, they don't have to stay. They can go.
Good evening to everybody present. I'm Doris from Ghana, and I've been teaching in the high school for the past 17 years. And I'm here on behalf of all T Fellows, and I was in Chelmsford High School, and we are very grateful to the superintendent, the assistant superintendent, and then to the school committee members, and also to our partner teachers. We were very happy when the school administration took us around to observe the elementary school. That was awesome. And then we also want all our partner teachers to know that we are very grateful to them for the care, the love, the special interest they took in us, genuine interest, other teachers, and all administrative staff who help in one way or the other. They shared their classrooms. They gave us opportunities to present our countries. They gave us opportunities to teach. And we learned most of the best practices we learned during the academic session, especially in Chelmsford. We saw it being carried out there. And I was particularly impressed about the individual support children with special need in the classroom were receiving. And I think when I go back home, it's worth mentioning. And all these wonderful experiences wouldn't be possible if we didn't have the cooperation of the students. When we came, they gave us a rousing welcome. And for a moment, I thought the band, they were professionals. And later, a teacher told me, no, these are students. They were so good, and it was so warm. We really felt the love, and we felt we were part of the family. So we are grateful to all the schools that opened its door to all our T Fellows. And we are very happy for this life-changing experience. It was so awesome to be in a typical American class. And when we go back home, I'm sure we have a lot of experiences to share and a lot of things and comments to give to make our educational system better. The cultural exchange was great. So a special thanks again to the Department of State, IREX, and everybody who helped in making this wonderful dream come true. Thank you.
I think it's important for the committee to know, so we have the 5 fellows that are at Chelmsford High School. They're with Michelle Kender, Dr. Cavarud, Dr. Tanini, Madame Gabois, and Mr. Atchison. So that's where our T fellows are placed at this point. Do any of you have those T? You haven't been. I was curious if you had that opportunity. Welcome.
I'm feeling like meeting jury. Don't judge me. Okay. I'm Raj from India, and thank you for allowing me to speak few words. Wow, you have been creating so many learning opportunities for the students. I could see them. The students have many more opportunities to experience learning. I think you are in the top in doing that. We really appreciate that. And you do appreciate the students a lot. Sometimes it is more than they required. But I like it. Every student has the opportunity to speak his mind. And we learned a lot in that area. The teachers here are really hard working, and they do a lot of preparations before coming to the class in creating the opportunities for the students. They search in the internet, they read in the books. Many teachers are like that. I'm not telling that everyone is doing that, but whoever I observed have been doing that. And compared to the other countries, you are providing so many materials for the students and technology. And sometimes I fear that we may overburden the students with these things. Natural learning ability of the students may go down. Sometimes I fear that, but I don't know. We have to make a research on that. And thanks for allowing us to participate in such type of programs. It's really helpful to understand the education system in America. We do this too, but not up to this level. It's not taken so seriously. Everybody of you have come prepared here. We have the students talking to us, all of us. It's a great opportunity to meet you all people. Thank you very much on behalf of all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I believe that there was going to be 3 speakers this evening, correct? Okay. Does the committee have questions for any of the scholars?
No, I think that what I would like to say is that I'm very pleased that it was such a wonderful opportunity for you, but it was a wonderful opportunity for us as well. I think it's very enriching for the kids to meet people from other countries and to hear about the experiences that you have in your countries, both in the society, educationally, in your families. I think it certainly broadens their perspective about what the world is like and the opportunities that they have. And so I thank you very, very much for coming over and sharing that with us.
Anybody else?
Okay. So we thank you all for being here. We know we have the farewell dinner that's going to be on Friday night. I'm very excited about that. So it's been a great experience. And I think just to echo what Donna was saying is our students are, they live in a small little world here, at least in Chelmsford. And sometimes they need that perspective of what is it like, what are other experiences that people have, and what can they bring to the table and what they can give back. So this experience, although probably very enriching for you and what you're going to be able to bring back to your districts and your schools, it's tenfold this way because our students have been speaking about it. They're very excited. I'm sorry that you two haven't had an opportunity. Maybe, you can come back to Chelmsford again, right? And redo your 4 years. But it's such an exciting opportunity, and our teachers just really enjoy it. And they love the connections that they've made. So many of these teachers that I talked about this evening, this is their third time going through this program. And now, as you can see, they're starting to explore and go out to other countries. And it's bringing back something very special for your students and for yourself. So we're excited that you were here. We're going to miss you. I know that's going to be the hard part. It's always the hard part. And, hopefully at some point we can have some exchanges moving forward. Is it possible to get a picture with everybody?
Sure.
Linda,
With you
just,
guys?
oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I'm
I was
sorry.
going to say one other thing. I forgot. I apologize. A lot of pressure here. Back in the fall, I had the opportunity to have 2 teachers from Germany stay with me. I'm also a teacher in a different school system. And I want to say that as much as you learn from us, I also become a better teacher for the experience of having you in my classroom. And so thank you very much for that. It's not just what you do for our students and our schools, but what you offer to us in terms of becoming better professionals that is so enriching. So again, thank you.
Well, that's okay. John had something he wanted to.
I just had a quick question, and it was not as meaningful as or well thought out as Donna's, but did anybody in the room see the ocean for the first time? No? Last time we had a couple people that had not seen the ocean yet, so I was hoping. Did they?
People who saw the snow.
Snow for the first time.
Yes.
If you would like to take that with you, it is available to go
We have
back.
some slime, too. We have lots of
Slime.
things that we can send back, but yeah, the snow would be great.
Awesome. Thank you.
Where do you want to take a picture?
What do you think's best? This is so hard. It's probably better if they're this way.
Yeah, I would say probably, if you'd like to stand up
And
and
come
come
back
behind
this
the
way.
table, and we can do a couple of rows and then take the picture this way, like we did last time. Yeah, why don't you come on over? And the school
Yeah,
committee
this is
can
the hard
sit.
part. You guys want to be in the picture?
Are we gonna do all the chairs?
Joanna's got it. Joanna, you can be in the picture.
Yeah, you got it. And John, why don't you guys sit, and then we'll have them filter in.
Oh, here, so you need chairs.
Rush, get 2
Yeah,
more
this
chairs.
is where we're not organized. This is, now you'll see how it really happens. Right, we just
Don't
kind
usually
of.
have a group of 24 people.
I love it. That's why I love that you all get to come. I want you all, of course.
Filter right in.
Thank
You might have to like double up.
Yeah, you might have to, we can do this. We've done this millions of times.
Just like.
So we've got everybody on that side. Stacy's in, Dawn is in, and then they're gonna direct us on what, no, Stacy, you're in. If I'm in, you're in. Yeah, tell people in the back, tell people in the back. All right.
Where's in is we're
I can
good.
go on the other side.
No, you're good.
Are you in?
All right, we're gonna put you in, yeah, tall in the back. Where are you going? I was gonna say you have to be in the
Go to the
picture.
other side.
You forgot your goggles.
Okay.
All right, let us know if we
All
need
right,
to.
1, 2, 3. Take a couple more.
All right. All right, thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
This is awesome. So excited very much. I look so forward to this, to share. I've been talking about you for a while. And now I'm like, yeah.
Is it just the no arms thing?
Yeah, it's no arms.
That was great.
I know, I just want to check.
give them a minute? Or?
No, when we go into executive session, they'll kind of back up.
Okay.
And then they'll leave what we're going.
Okay. Okay, so at this point, we're going to take a few minutes to adjourn to executive session, so I'll entertain a motion to that order.
I move that we go into executive session to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation.
Second.
Okay. Do we have to say anything about returning back, or?
Well, the intent is to return back to public session at the conclusion of executive session.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. Al?
Aye.
Donna?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right.
move that we adjourn from the executive session and return to the regular meeting of the Chelmsford School Committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0. Okay, back in.
So the next item you have before you this evening is item number 4 on the agenda. This is ratification of a memorandum of agreement between the Chelmsford School Committee, excuse me, and the Chelmsford School Administrators Association. So as way of background, as we just discussed, the negotiating subcommittee of the Chelmsford School Committee, which consisted of Chair King and Mr. Thomas, met with the negotiating team for the Chelmsford Administrators Association on a new contract bargain. Agreed to ground rules, had a negotiating session, and actually reached the terms of an agreement at that time. So what you have before you this evening is an agreement, and I'm going to cover the overarching points for you, and then we will post a copy of this up online for individuals to be able to see. But this is a new 3-year contract to begin July 1st, 2019, run through June 30th, 2020, with the Administrators Association. This is an approximate 20-member bargaining group of building administrators, so this would have your assistant principals, curriculum coordinators, special education department chairs, individuals along those lines. All of the contract terms will be updated, dates and things like that. There is a recognition, if you recall, last year we added elementary assistant principals to the mix. So there is a recognition that the elementary assistant principals are also included in this contract. We updated the language with regard to discrimination to just have it be in concert with our school department policies. We basically, as far as compensation is concerned, agreed to a 3-year contract with a 2% COLA in year 1, a 2% COLA increase in year 2, and a 2% COLA increase in year 3. So it's a 2-2-2, 6% increase over 3 years. On number 8, this particular unit does not have lanes. So if you look at some of our contracts, they may have a lane for a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, a CAGS or a doctorate. This group actually just receives a stipend for having either a CAGS or a doctorate. Currently, members receive a $2,000 stipend per year for a CAGS and a $3,000 for a doctorate. That's going up $1,000 each under this contract. So if you have a CAGS, you'll now receive $3,000 instead of $2,000, and if you have a doctorate, you'll receive $4,000 instead of $3,000. It's a one-time annual stipend. Articles 9, 10, and 11 deal with just transfer rights within the bargaining unit. Trying to find some efficiencies there. We had a couple of updates to titles within the contract. So we used to refer to for positions as like 766 coordinators. They really are special education department chairs, so we just updated language to be consistent. We did update language on bereavement to delineate exactly what an immediate family member is for someone to be eligible for bereavement leave. We did add language that clarifies the policy on vacation day accruals. So these individuals work year-round as opposed to just working the school year, so they earn vacation time and use that time over the course of the summer. It just talks about how they actually earn that time. We also, under this contract, are allowing individuals to carry over 1 week or 5 vacation days at the end of a fiscal year to the next calendar year if they have gone unused. That is basically the gist of the agreement that was reached. So certainly, I would recommend ratification of this agreement. Happy to answer any questions that you have. As is customary, Paul, the town manager, is here as well. He's a voting member for our collective bargaining agreements. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Anybody have any other questions or comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the memorandum of agreement between the Chelmsford School Committee and the Chelmsford School Administrators Association that will be in effect for the 3-year period from July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2022.
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay. Al?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Donna?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
Thank you.
Great.
Paul, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming, Paul.
At the end of the meeting, if you could just stop by, I just have 2 copies to sign. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Next item on the agenda this evening, item number 5, is our vote on school choice participation for the 2019-2020 school year. This is an annual vote that the school committee takes to authorize and allow children who do not reside within Chelmsford to be able to be educated in Chelmsford. They come to our community and participate in our programs. We currently, I provided a list, we currently have 48 students who are enrolled in grades 6 through 12 within our community. I put a little chart together at the bottom of my memo, and you'll see we don't currently enroll students in grades K through 5, but we have 2 students enrolled in grade 6, and then it goes right up through grade 12. Part of our strategy for this was to enroll on average about 50 students per year. Under the school choice formula with the state, we receive $5,000 per student that we enroll in the school choice program. So a lot of our budget figures are predicated on taking in about $250,000 or the equivalent of 50 school choice students joining us each year. And that's been built into our budget formulas. That's been built into our revenue projections for school choice, which are then going to help provide for the one-on-one computer initiative. So that's where that number 50 comes from. So we do know that 7 of the students are currently, 7 of the students are currently seniors who are going to be graduating at the end of the year, which leaves us with 38 students for next year. So my recommendation this evening is to have the school committee authorize up to 12 additional students to come in as 9th graders to the system. We looked at our enrollment projections at the elementary and the middle school. That's where we see our enrollment increases. So we would like to take advantage of a little bit of the decline we see at the high school in numbers and actually have students start as a cohort, stay for 4 years, and then graduate. And that strategy we've tried to implement over the last couple of years. So that's where the number 12 is coming from. Again, if we currently have 38, we're going to try to add up to the 50. That would be the recommendation. And I would recommend that you do not open up additional spaces at any of the other grade levels except for grade 9 to be able to help kind of control this enrollment of students in our district. Going forward, again, as our seniors graduate, we'll look to enroll 12 or 13 students as freshmen each year. I think that's a good number. It's predictable, and that's the strategy. I just wanted to share that with you.
So now these numbers are next year's numbers, right? So the 7 is next year's seniors. We're losing 10.
No, I rolled everyone forward a year.
Right.
Oh,
so
yes,
the-
I'm sorry, when I
yes,
said that, yes.
Yeah, so we're losing 10.
You're losing 10.
Those 7 are going to be next year's seniors.
That's correct.
Okay. All right.
That's correct.
So once we lose the 10, we'll be at 38, and that's where the.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, there were 10 current seniors,
Yep.
not 7. I
Okay.
looked at the wrong number.
And this doesn't obviously impact the numbers at the high school in terms of class size and all that?
No, 12 students?
Yeah.
As a freshman wouldn't impact the class sizes.
Okay. All right, any other questions on this, Donna?
Yeah, I just have a couple questions. One is, can you explain just how this process works? Do kids apply? Is it a lottery system? Is it first come, first serve?
Sure, so what happened, this is the first step. So the school committee actually needs to vote by, I believe the statute is May 1st, to open up slots if you're going to. And you can actually say how many spaces you'd like to open up by grade level, even by school. Obviously, there's only one high school, but you could say, I want to open up 2 spaces at South Row and 1 space at Harrington, so you can go through that recommendation. Once you vote this evening, hopefully to approve 12 new 9th graders at the high school, we update our registration forms and our application process online. So tomorrow, the next day, all of our forms will be updated and will be posted to the website that we're allowing 12 non-Chelmsford students to enroll in our school system. So typically, there's about a 3-week application process where we leave the window open. And anyone who's interested downloads the registration forms and the application. They complete the application. They attach a copy of their current report card from their school. If they're a special needs student, they would attach an IEP or 504 or any of those particular forms. And then they submit them to the school department for consideration. If the number of students who want to attend in the fall exceed the number of spots that you've authorized, then we have a lottery. It's a blind lottery. It's not a selection process. If we obviously receive 12 or under, you would just accept those students into the district.
And do students have to reapply every year?
Once you're accepted into the program, you're allowed to graduate. So you stay with us and you don't go through the process again the following year. If you ever, for whatever reason, left and then wanted to come back in, you have to start all over again. But if you're accepted in as a 9th grader, we're committed to you for 4 years. So you're committed right through senior year.
And you said the sending school district pays $5,000?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of the statute.
All right. So does this create problems if we accept students who have special needs? Do we end up picking up the remainder of the cost for whatever services they may need?
There's a different, almost like circuit breaker, how we apply for funding. We, similarly with this, we would apply for a special education reimbursement, but it's through school choice, not circuit breaker for these particular students.
Okay.
Because again, it is kind of a blind admission process.
Right.
You may receive an application from a special education student. If they had extra services or say like a one-on-one or programming, we would apply separately for that for reimbursement.
Okay, great, thank you.
That's actually sometimes why you see, if you look at how much our school choice revenue is per year. Again, if we only have 50 students, you would expect that to be $250, but you've seen it go as high as, $325 or $350. It's the extra increment for special education services that we're being reimbursed for.
Well, I think this has been a question that some community members have had about, what is the process? And then, in particular around special education students, do we end up absorbing the cost? So that's great to hear that we have that
Right.
fund that we can.
And it does get passed back to their sending district.
Okay.
And what generally is the response? Like, will we get more than 12? Do we get usually right on the number?
It has varied. I mean, we have had to have a lottery the last couple of years. Obviously, a good number of the students will come in. If I had to guess, I would say we'll receive somewhere between 10 and 20 applications. But we'll know, say, like, when we set the deadline, it'll probably be around the 1st of April. And then we'll be able to identify who's coming.
Great. Any other questions? Right, Al?
I move that we accept up to 12 additional or new students at Chelmsford High School in grade 9 under the Commonwealth of Massachusetts School Choice Program, bringing the total school choice participation in the Chelmsford Public Schools to 50 enrolled students during the 2019-2020 school year.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? It's a roll call, it can be,
That's a roll call.
okay. Okay, Al?
Aye.
Donna?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Aye, 4-0.
Thank you. The sixth item on the agenda this evening is the personnel report. This is just a memo from our HR office that details the different personnel transactions that occurred within the month of January. You have a list of some new hires, a couple of resignations, and a retirement. So just providing that to you to provide, again, that snapshot of the personnel interactions within the district for the month of January. Just a report of progress, no particular motion necessary.
Any questions on it, on the list? Okay, great.
And I did have as I do sometimes, a placeholder for approval of conference and field trip requests. We didn't get any that came in, so I don't have anything for you to approve this evening.
All right, anybody have any liaison reports?
Yes, go ahead.
Good, Al.
I attended the high school PTO meeting last night, and the main focus of discussion was the after-prom breakfast, which is one of the major functions. And every year, the people who come forward and donate money and services changes somewhat, because a lot of times it's tied to the graduating class. And so it's a great program, and they're already in the process of buying the various presents. A lot of the things are like computers and refrigerators and bedding and so forth to go to college, and it's a great night. So if there's anybody out there who feels that they could support the program, I'd appreciate it if they do that.
And I think they're still looking for volunteers to help out that night, too, if I'm not mistaken. All right, anybody else?
We had CPAC last Thursday, CPAC meeting, and they really continue to do a really nice job. They typically have a speaker that comes in each meeting. In the last meeting, we had someone there who presented on, it was Nancy Collier. She presented on she's a family support specialist, and she presented on various resources that were available for behavioral and mental health services in the community. So it was really helpful, and it's really nice that they're inviting people, as I said, in to be able to kind of expand parents understanding of what may be available to them in terms of services beyond the schools. So, and then they also began to develop their goals for next year as well.
Great. Okay, anybody else, John? Okay. All right, any new items that people would like to discuss, bring up? I had a couple things. I just wanted to mention, to let people know, if they're watching, that our new policies are now being hosted by MASC. So now if you click on our policy link on the school committee page, it will bring you to the MASC site, and there you can search policies. So hopefully it's a lot easier to find the information you're looking for from that particular website. I also want to mention at our last meeting, Donna made a request to make our budget updates a little bit more accessible, so we now have a new link. I'm not sure, where is it?
It's under the business and finance page.
Okay.
It's just called financial reports.
Okay, so if you want to see it, the most up-to-date numbers in terms of our budget, it is now accessible through that page. So before you had to kind of weed through some of the school committee agenda packets, which aren't easy, so now that's a little bit easier. There is a information in your packets on Day on the Hill, and so I have a request from Deb, if you'd like to go, to just let her know, and she can do the registration for that. And then the last thing I wanted to have people start to think about is what we want to do for our last public forum. So a couple ideas have been floated out there, one being transportation, and talking about transportation, all the things that go into that process and signing up. Just last week, somebody mentioned social emotional programming. I mean, it's a very broad topic. There's a lot of different layers to that. So, you know, if anybody has any other ideas, maybe at our next meeting we can set aside an agenda item to discuss where people would like to go with that, and then we can kind of look at, you know, when we might want to do that. You know, whether it be like early May, mid-May, somewhere on there after, you know, budgeting is all done and that type of stuff. So people want to kind of think about that, think about other ideas, and then we kind of start to put that together. Okay. And the only other one I want to mention, I know we'll meet before that, is that on March 25th, we're meeting with the selectmen to vote on new Neshoba Tech school committee members. So
What's the date for that?
March 25th. Okay, it's a Monday, I believe. So just wanted to put that on your schedules. There's something else. All right, anything else? Okay, any public comment? No? Okay. Okay, I will entertain a motion.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.